Hello guys, how are we doing? The competitive scene is in full swing this year and the pros have already started restricting what people can use in the competitive rule set. This is one example of a gun that is GA'd and banned, and it's the HOLGER 556. The gun absolutely decimates and it's a 4-bullet no matter what range. So make sure you guys give this class up a go. This class is going to be on screen now, so you can pause it and take a look, but we're going to be going through in today's video the rest of things they have GA'd, because we can expect to see things they've banned and GA'd currently as restrictions in MW3 ranked play when it drops. Last year, pretty much everything they banned or GA'd in the CDL came through into the restrictions into MW2 ranked play, so we're going to be just giving you a bit of forewarning as to what to expect as the bans going into this year. Now, before I do get into it, I just wanted to say if there's anything in particular you think should be banned or GA'd. Is there anything you've come across that you think is overpowered? Obviously, you might find I mentioned it already, but generally speaking, is there anything you want to be GA'd or banned when the competitive MW3 ranked play drops? Let me know. So, the first set of official, and when I say official, this is what the pros have actually said they're GA'd or banned. Obviously, there's a bunch of things that are generically banned, and that's things like shotguns, launchers, battle rifles, marksman rifles, those sort of things. But we're talking about really more specific things here. So first things first, the knife. This is very recently, the knife has been GA'd. The reason for that is because, I don't know whether it's because people can move around quickly, but I don't think that's the reason. I think the main reason for this is because with a time to kill as long as this game has, knifing is very good. A lot of the times, if you're in a really close range gunfight in the close range corridor, let's say the back of DVD on Invasion, having a knife out is more beneficial than having a gun, and it just ends up being a knife fight. So yeah, I can imagine that's why they GA'd it. Chances are people are going to be using the Renetti as the secondary in its replacement. Next is obviously the gun I'm using here, the HOLGER 556. As I said, it's absolutely disgusting. As if you're going to try that class setup, obviously that's a pub class setup because it's got a silencer on it. Yeah, give it a go, but yeah, it's disgusting. And then both burst rifles, so that's the DG58 and the FR556, have also been banned simply because I believe they've got the potential to one burst, and it just isn't that competitive. Like, the only burst guns have been banned in Call of Duty for as long as I can remember, other than the M8A1, I think it was called, in Black Ops 2. And there's probably another couple of exceptions, but generally speaking, the pros like to GA those banned guns because of how dominant they can be and the potential that they can one burst in the competitive rules. It just does it's not fun. The next thing is, which is a bit of a weird one. So they've banned every AR. So if you're using the MCW or the MTZ, you have to use a red dot. Now they've made that decision as a result of, it's fairly recently to be fair, but they've made that decision to hopefully, what they've said is they want to try and steer people away from using an ammo type, so that's high velocity or high grain. But instead of just GAing those two, they've decided to make it so that you have to have a red dot. I don't get it, because realistically you can just swap out an attachment for an ammo type anyway, so it doesn't really make much sense to me. But who am I? Who am I to judge? These guys are pros. At the end of the day, it's their job. But yeah, you have to use a red dot set on your AR. This is going to be one that I do think is going to be hard to implement. Things like guns and weapons outright are going to be fine, but I don't think the system in Call of Duty is technical enough to say, right, if you put an AR on your class, you have to use a red dot. I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, that's something that people may want to follow, and if you're entering any sort of official tournaments for money or cash, you are going to have to follow this GA, presumably when they get implemented into the sites. And the next thing is a one that they can change within ranked play, and that's the SAE kill streak. So thing is with this one, you can use, there's a glitch where you can use it to ping enemies, and I think you can pretty much call it out over and over again and see where enemies are over and over again. So if you're in S&D and it's in your back pocket, you can literally just hold it out and see exactly where they are every time you pull the little pad out. So that's obviously broken, but hopefully they can fix that. Hopefully there's a way they can fix that, or at least they can GA. You can only pull it out once. If you call it out, you have to use it, like that sort of thing. I don't know if they can make an announcement so that someone, like in-game, announces the fact that someone's calling an SAE at the point they pull the little laptop thing out, or the little iPad, whatever you want to call it. Then people will know whether or not they've broken the GA or not broken the rule. But yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. And annoyingly, I hope this does get fixed, because I don't want a one-streak competitive COD again. Vanguard was very similar in that it had only really one streak. Well, I'll say it had two streaks, but you could only use one at a time because they were both the same amount of kills. And I think I don't want that to be the same thing. I want to be able to use two streaks, and at this rate, it was going to be the Predator missile or the cruise missile as well as the SAE. I like that. That's good. I want two sets of streaks to use. If you went on an absolute tear, I want to be rewarded with a couple of bits. Like Cold War, you had the Lightning Strike as well as the Hellstorm missile. I love that. That was perfect. I just don't want to be using a Predator, a cruise missile as the only streak again. Now, they're the official GAs, so just to recap, you've got the Knife, the Holger, the DAG-58, the FR-556, ARs have to use red dots, and then the SAE kill streak. They're the official GAs and restrictions, additional to their standard ones so far. Now, there's a couple of gaming sites out there where you can do tournaments and pay for XP and climb up a ladder for cash, like Game Battles, CMG, and COD Agent. Now, on CMG, there's a couple of things they have banned, which the pros haven't identified to have been banned so far. And so far on these, you're not allowed to use the Gaia Operator, which is the Groot skin. It's the skin people are moaning about. And for me, I would love to see this banned in competitive, that you have to use a certain skin. It has to be the ranked play skin or something like that you use. But I'm not sure how easy that is to implement. And to be honest, the Groot skin is way easier to see in this game than it was in MW2. So I'm not too bothered about it in any case. They've also said that attachments-wise, you all suppressors and silencers, obviously, and then the conversion kits for the Renetti and the first pistol you get. You can't use those conversions just because of how OP they are. But yeah, other than that, pretty much on everything else is fine on GBs. And then we look at COD Agent. Sorry, if you look on here again, it says here you have to use the default character skins, which is very interesting. The rules for however many smokes and trophies there are on a team, you're only really allowed 2 trophies per team in a respawn and 1 smoke on an S&D. No smokes in a hardpoint. But these are going to be things where in ranked play, when it drops, if you can use smokes in S&D, the game isn't technical enough, as I say, similar with the AR with the red dot side. The game isn't clever enough, or the system isn't clever enough to know that you're playing hardpoint, you can't use smokes. I don't think it's that technical, so I think that's going to be really hard to implement into ranked play. So chances are we will be seeing smokes on hardpoint if they still allow them on S&D, and chances are you can run 4 trophies, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. I think the thing is, on MW2 and maybe even Vanguard, running 2 trophies was a must because you sort of wanted people to run dead silence at the same time. But on this game, dead silence is a perk, which means that pretty much everyone can run trophies. So you're going to end up with 4 trophies on the map at any one time. And I don't know of a decent or a good enough alternative. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare breaking hills with 4 trophies. But hey, we'll see when it comes out. And then other than that, it's just the standard stuff. I don't think anything else untoward has been banned. All boots are allowed, all gloves are allowed. And the vests, I think pretty much most of the vests are allowed, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, another thing I just want to say as well, any pistol triggers that increase the fire rate of pistols, or generally any triggers on pistols, are also banned and GA'd on a lot of these sites. So that basically means if you can't use the knife, you're going to have to use a pistol. And when you use a pistol, you have to use the default trigger. So that's fine. I don't really mind that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to these. There's some things in here that I am happy with. I don't think there's really anything else I foresee being banned other than what's that I've already mentioned. And in my opinion, nothing else really needs to be banned. What would be great, but this might make the system just completely time consuming, is that when you load into a ranked play match, whether it's S&D or hardpoint, you basically get to a screen, which is maybe a 20-second screen, and you can pick. You've got your standard classes, and every time you go in, you have to pick whether you want a smoke or a stun or a flash. And if 2 people have selected smoke in this 30-second time frame, the other 2 people have to select a stun. So you almost have to claim the equipment, and in that way they can enforce the 2 smoke rule, the 1 smoke rule. Sorry. Similarly with trophies, if you're in this 30-second countdown, if you're the first 2 people in your team to select trophies, the other 2 people in your team can't select trophies and they have to run munitions. It's a really weird theory, and I would like it because it'd make it more competitive. Just because I see 4 trophies on the map being an absolute ball ache, if I'm honest. and full smoke. Imagine full smokes just running around the map as well. It's just not great. So if anything, I'd rather. Yeah, see, it's really tough. The system has to work, and I'm hoping if they do anything like what I've just suggested there, it would be great, but I doubt they will. So yeah, that's almost going to do it. We've got another minute left of the video, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. But yeah, the question goes out to you guys. Is there anything that I haven't mentioned that you would see being able to be banned or GA'd, or something that you've played coming against in public matches which you think, well, that shouldn't be allowed? Or is there an SMG where you think, okay, that's broken? At the moment, the meta is the MTW and Rival 9, but I've heard the NTZ kills quicker, and the WSP Swarm as the SMG actually does kill quicker at very close range. But overall, I think the meta so far that they've got in the competitive rule set is balanced. It's just whether or not they want to ban anything else, I guess. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now. Nice.